The topic of death, wow, it just brings the chills up some people's spines. It's like one of those topics that no one really wants to talk about. And rightfully so. Who wants to talk about dying or death or losing a loved one? I remember having this conversation with my uncle before he passed, and I asked him, wait, what do you think happens when you die? Like, where do you think my mom is, your sister? And he said, her body's in the ground next to mine, where mine will be soon. I talk to my older siblings and I say, what do you think mom is? And they say, every time you see a butterfly, she's in the butterfly. And sometimes she'll visit you in your dreams. And I asked the father of my best friend in college, I said, what do you think? And he said, well, his spirit is lifted and it's going to be reborn into a new being, a new living life. The energy is transformed. There's all these different beliefs, and how do we know which is right, which is wrong? And I really believe that we don't. We don't know what's right. We don't know what's wrong. We choose to believe whatever we choose to believe. Death is inevitable. It's going to happen to us, and it's going to happen to the people around us. And I think how we handle and approach death is what's important. About a month after my mom passed away, I had a dream, and the dream was so real. It's one of those dreams where when you wake up, it's like, did it really happen? How it went is I woke up in the passenger seat of her car. And I looked at her and I said, Mom, what are you doing? How are you here? She says, good morning, like she always did as I was growing up. And she says, I missed you. I just wanted to come and visit. I said, wow, it's so good to see you. And I said, Mom, I have to ask you a question. She said, sure. I said, that last night, I know I got to the hospital and you weren't responsive. But did you know that I made it there? Like, did I make it in time? She said, in my dream, what do you think I waited for? And then I woke up. And I don't know if that was my mind playing a trick on me, if that was my mom visiting me in my sleep. I don't know what it was, but I will tell you that I woke up in tears of emotion and gratitude to know that either I convinced myself or I had help being convinced that I was able to make it to my mom that last night before she passed on. And I'm going to ask every single one of you that's listening to have enough courage to talk about this, risk the vulnerability that goes behind talking about the topic of death. I'm going to ask you to take away two things. Number one, never let someone apologize for crying or grieving. Make sure that they never apologize, because that means they're doing something wrong if they're apologizing. And number two, ask them to celebrate the person's life instead of mourning the death, and leave a legacy through that person. That way they can live the life that they deserve to live.